Hello, welcome to Detox Your Life. My name is Daniel Genest, speaker, coach, trainer, and founder of Detox Your Life. Today we have a great chance. We have a very good dermatologist Michelle's gonna help us understand a bit better about cosmetics and skincare products and what to think about when we use those products. So, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Good, good. So it's Michelle Jeffries, by the way, and she's a dermatologist. And there's something that I want to ask you before. The integrative dermatology. What's that? What exactly is that?
You know, I get asked that a lot. People usually know what a dermatologist is, but they don't know what an integrative dermatologist is, and it's a very new field. It's not necessarily an alternative type of medicine that we're doing. We're actually bringing together traditional medicine with a lot of different mind-body techniques, also with a lot of natural remedies, using Ayurvedic principles, traditional Chinese medicine, and just trying to merge the best of both of those to give a person the best opportunity to heal.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, good. And you work in the Phoenix area in Arizona, so it's very dry. It's a dry area.
Very dry here. We're definitely in the desert.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the skincare products, we know they contain a lot of chemicals, but why should we really pay attention to that?
You know, one of the number one diagnoses that we see in the dermatology clinic is an allergic reaction to a lot of personal care products. And usually the discussion about that is bringing the patient's awareness to the number of products that they use and the possible chemicals that could be in there. So usually we have to tell them a little bit more and kind of ask them a little bit more about what they're using and how they're using it and bring their awareness to all of those things.
Yeah, that's important. That's a lot of things. So, but you talk about allergy. What kind of reaction did that do? What you see the most?
What we see the most is things like an itchy, dry scalp, a rash around the eyes. We see rashes around the chest and the back in women. You could also see rashes on the hands from different things that you're touching. So just different parts of the body, all of a sudden you're getting a red, itchy rash.
Okay, so but the shoulders, what could make a lady have rashes on her shoulders?
Very good question. So there's a lot of potential allergens that could be a trigger, but one of the most common things that we see is some of her hair care products triggering an allergic reaction. A lot of women don't realize how many chemicals are in their hair care products, much less how many they're actually using. So most women, we have a shampoo that we're using. We have a conditioner. Some women dye their hair, and so they have dye. And then we also put in products to soothe, smooth out our hair, to keep it in place. A lot of different things to hold it, curl it, straighten it. A lot of things to make it look good. However, if you have those chemicals sitting on your skin and you're sensitized to them, you can get a reaction there.
Yeah, and it's additive because you're sometimes we talk about products. We say, well, that's just one product, but we use a lot more than this. So, when you get a patient, how do you talk to them to make them realize that like the seriousness of all this?
So for you, for example, I probably would ask you, do you use a shampoo to wash your hair?
Yes, I do.
Do you use a conditioner?
Yes.
And do you use a hair gel or hair product to hold your hair in place?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Do you wear any moisturizer or sunscreen on your skin before you leave for the day?
Yes, one for my face, yes.
Okay. Do you shave?
Yes.
Do you use shaving cream?
Yes, exactly. One,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you use any eye drops or lubricating drops for your eyes?
That's very rare.
Okay. How about anything to protect your lips? Chapstick?
Lip balm. Since we're in Arizona, I'm using it like 5-6 times a day because I get dry. Like I feel like a dry raisin. So so that's important. Yeah, that's one thing I use too.
Right. And then how about moisturizers on your skin? So your lips are dry, your arms and legs are probably dry too.
Yeah, there's probably my use of my skin too. The rest of my body.
Okay. And then you probably use a body wash in the shower as well.
Yes, body wash.
Okay. So I probably named, over 10 chemicals or 10 products that have chemicals in them. Maybe each product has multiple chemicals that you're using on your skin. If you're using them regularly every day, you can slowly develop an allergic reaction to any one of them. And what's usually surprising to people is they tell me, I've been using that for years. I've never had a reaction. Why would I have one now? And really, it's your immune system developing a sensitivity to that over time. It's very slow. It can be very subtle, but it's cumulative.
Yeah, and it can happen. The more exposed you are to something, the more chance you have of getting reactive to it. You might never have a reaction, But like you said, people that have been using those products for years, and then they start reacting to it.
Absolutely. And then you take your profile of the skincare products you're using and you apply that to women, and you can add in all of their hair care products, but also you usually use eye makeup, lip makeup, facial makeup, blush, moisturizers. We use things to improve the texture and tone and the discoloration of our skin. We use anti-aging things. We use things for acne. I mean, it's an exponential list of how many things we're actually using. So,
Yeah. And that's one thing. Yeah, exactly. And that becomes a lot. So it's additive. Sometimes we have a chemical one time. If you take 20 products, it's 20 chemicals, and that's just saying that there's one in each product, which is not necessarily true. More than that. So what do you make suggestion? Me, I know, because I got very reactive to everything. So I add, my products are very, very very nature based products. So that helps. But people who are not necessarily sick like this, why do they should avoid those products?
we try to simplify their skincare routine and then try to gear them toward things that are more organic products, maybe more vegan products, fragrance-free, formaldehyde-free. Some of the hair care products, there's some information now that maybe possibly the phthalates are dangerous and sulfates are irritants. There's a lot of things that we don't know about all those things yet, but definitely if you're having some reactions, we want to simplify everything. So try to avoid all of those things. And, I encourage everybody to kind of take a look at the label of everything that they're putting on their skin, and they might be surprised of all the different chemical names. And what's interesting about it is some of the chemicals change names or, add in, a different part of that chemical and it changes. It's still the same thing that you might be allergic to, but it's present in multiple products. So increasing your awareness of what you're using, what's in it, and trying to simplify that is our best advice. We also can do some testing. We have something called patch testing where we put the top 25 or 30 chemicals on your skin in little areas and see if you have a reaction to them. Dermatologists do this as well as allergists.
Okay, the same kind of thing we do for cats, dogs, and things like that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to drink water too because it's really dry in Arizona. Yes, so that's it. Because when I give advice to people, I'm not a dermatologist, but since my own experience, the most often you use a product and the more surface you use it on, I say to people to pay attention more to those products because the more area the more chemicals get into your body.
Right.
What do you think about this?
I think the larger body surface area and the more frequent that you're using something, the more likely that you can develop an allergy or sensitivity to it.
Oh yeah, and the more chemicals get into your body because in a certain way, the more products you use on your skin. So you're talking about like different products, but we can talk about like, let's say tanning oils or sunscreens. It's important to take care of that too.
Right. So sunscreens can be divided into two different types. There's chemical sunscreens and then there's physical blockers. The chemical sunscreens have been the one up for debate quite a bit. There's a lot of different chemicals that have been put in there. And what they do is they actually make a chemical change on your skin so that the sun does not penetrate as deeply, doesn't damage your skin as much. So they have that benefit of doing that. However, if you're sensitive to them, it can be a problem. The physical blockers are things like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Those physically reflect the sun's radiation off of your skin. Those definitely are very helpful. There are some new products that are coming out that were nano-sized, and we didn't quite know if that was something that was good or something that was bad. And now we're finding out things that are nano-sized actually get more absorbed deeper into our skin. And so we're starting to, look at that data a little bit more closely.
So the chemicals get even deeper in our skin.
Right. So, usually I recommend trying to use a sunscreen that's not nano-sized, zinc-based, or titanium oxide-based. Only apply it to the areas where you need it, and then definitely use your clothing to protect you in all the other areas so you're not needing to put as much chemical or as much of a product on your skin. So wearing hats, sunglasses, long sleeve shirts, long pants, even when it's 120 here, we recommend that.
Do people do that?
Some people do. It is actually hard to adhere to it. So we recommend usually like a white shirt so it's not as hot. People that work in the industry that work outdoors here, so our landscapers, roofers, they're usually covered head to toe. And so I advise people to usually look at them as a role model of, well, they're out there all day. How are they protecting themselves?
Well, that's a good idea because they're outside all the time. It's a good thing I'm not the landscaper here because I would die with dressed like this under the sun. Yeah, so so it is something to really pay attention to. You're talking earlier about all the makeup that girls use. there's so many things we can use, and there's some new products not always tested that they say it's not always tested. We're not sure exactly. We'll see in the future, but if somebody you said like more organic, but is there some kind of like when you choose like let's say makeup or things girl uses more because you use even a lot more than us. What exactly you said organic, but is there something that certain products that you say if you see those kind of products into it, like is there something you avoid, or what kind of advice you give them?
Yeah, really good question. So a lot of different brands have a lot of different chemicals in them. And so it's hard to say to, just avoid this one thing. And like we talked about earlier, it can change names. So definitely trying to gear yourself to looking at the label. If there's something on the label you don't understand, you could look it up. There are also some resources you can look online that are trying to figure out what the chemical in there means. Is it dangerous? Is it not? And look at whether or not it's been researched on animals or has been researched on humans to be dangerous. Two of those websites are safecosmetics.org. That's safe, S-A-F-E, cosmetics.org. Another one is the Environmental Working Group site, EWG. They also have an app that you can download called Skin Deep. And you can actually go to the store and use your phone and scan the item before you purchase it and get a rating on how they rate how dangerous that is. Just definitely keep in mind that's their own independent rating. It's definitely, they're trying to compile research and you have to do your own.
Okay, yes, but because like everything, if it's because a product say it's safe and it's very good, it might not be good for you because sometimes we get reactive to a product that all the others are okay, but you're not. So testing on yourself is one good thing, and that's why you find good products. I have a tendency of keeping the same one, and the thing I hate the most on products, it's good for marketing. When they say new, I don't like it because they might have added things. I was okay with that product yesterday, but new means they put something new in it, so I don't like it as much now. Before I didn't care, but now with all the reactions I had, I pay more attention to this. So
I think that's a really good point in the industry because, if someone recommends a certain brand or a certain product, it can change. And so you can't really hang your hat on that. You can't just say, I'm just going to get this brand and this is the only brand I can use and I can't use anything else, because even that product can change, and they can change the branding and what's in it. And so you always have to, kind of do your due diligence and look at the label. What does it actually say on there? What's in there? So
for the product you use the most on the bigger area, pay attention to this. The other ones, it's always good. It's very good to use all the time chemical, as less chemical as possible. But like I said, I say to everybody, do the big things. So it's better because that's the one that you're adding the most chemicals. So if big areas. So that's a good way of like you said. There's two places. The EWG group. It's a resource I'm using a lot. They're very credible. And they publish things so you can use them. So it's good because you recommend the same thing. So that's good. Right. So it's very good. We're talking about the female market. They use a lot more, but sometimes it's hard to the ladies. The perfume they use, they like scented products in general. Like they use more chemicals. They don't take their shower. They take the shower, they don't wash their hair every day, very often. So the chemical you put one day, the next day you put new one in, so you have more. So how do you explain that to, what's your view on this, and how can we try to diminish this as much as possible?
We definitely recommend more fragrance-free products if you can. That's usually the first step.
Okay, that helps a lot.
And then there's also some things that can be releasers of fragrance and formaldehyde releasers and things like that can kind of irritate the skin as well, and those usually go hand in hand. So sometimes even if something says fragrance free, you still, going back to everything, you want to turn that label around and look at it and really see what else is in there. Even some of the natural things, I've had patients that are allergic to lavender and things, different oils that are very soothing and healing and calming, but you can still be sensitive to those things too. So lavender has a beautiful scent. It's a wonderful thing, but some people can be sensitive to that. So it's fragrance free and as simple as you can be.
Yeah, fragrance free is so it sounds nice. It's like when they say hypoallergenic. It's good. It just says less chance of having allergies.
You still can.
It's not because there's no allergens in it.
Right.
So that's one good thing. So wait, yeah. By the way, what do you think about that when they say you said hypoallergenic? Do you test? You still test on people to be sure that they work well for them, or?
Right. So some things we can do for a skincare product. There's an area in our body right on the inside of our arm that's very delicate skin that usually doesn't get much sun exposure. It's usually very tender skin. And so sometimes I have people test the product on that area of their skin first before they put it everywhere, just to see if they're going to get a reaction on that part of their skin before they're putting it all over their body. Same thing with the face. If you're trying a new product for acne, or you're trying a new moisturizer and you have sensitivities, just try it on a small area of your skin before you put it all over. So that's usually our tip and advice. And you may have a reaction, you may not.
Yeah, but that's a great tip, and I would have never thought to use the product here. But I was testing on small areas because I got reactive.
Right.
But that's a very good, very good idea, and so that's good. So we're very lucky to have a chance to talk to you and having all those things. But do you have one advice that you would give to our listeners that would be important for them to know? In whatever areas, that's something that you give very often to your patient, that you tell them very often.
I would say the number one thing that a lot of patients ask me is whenever they have a skin issue, is it related to stress? Do I have this because of stress? Do I have this rash? Do I have my acne? Is my psoriasis worse? Is it worse because of stress? And definitely I feel, coming from an integrative perspective, you can have all of these other things, and stress is definitely going to make a lot of things worse and aggravate things. And maybe if you have acne, it's going to be worse when you're stressed. And so really taking that seriously and really addressing your stress is very important.
Okay, good. So that's something I would have never thought. But yeah, but about stress, we know that about like if you have eczema or thing like that, very often you have breakouts during or after a big stress. So that's what when I had that a long time ago, I realized that I had that after a big period of stress, I don't have anymore because I changed the product I'm using.
Right.
So I don't have to use this problem anymore, but that was something to think about at that time.
Right. It can be our body's own mechanism of telling us, hey, slow down, pay attention, something's going on. You're having a lot of inflammation in your skin, a lot of reactions, your body's not doing what it normally is, and there's a reason why. And so definitely not eliminating your stress is not going to eliminate your eczema or your acne or your psoriasis, but it's definitely bringing that to your awareness. And so be mindful of it and try to address it at a deeper level if you can.
Thank you very much. That's good. And for me, for sure, I always address the way I work. I work for myself, and when I give advice to people, I tell them like the total body load. Everything that comes in contact with us, that we breathe, we drink, we eat, or get in contact with our skin, which is the biggest surface of organ of absorption in our body.
Right.
So all this makes a difference, and the total, it's like the weight. If you weight your clothes is weight. Your backpack might be weight. What you have in your pocket might add weight to you. So it's the total. When you walk a long walk, it's all you have on you that you're transporting. All the weight makes a difference. So for me, total body load is exactly like that.
Right.
The more you put on your skin, the more exposed you are in every area, the more chemicals get into your body, and the most you have to detoxify. So thanks again, Michelle, to be so nice to have you with us, and looking forward to have more information from you.
Great. It's been a pleasure.
Good. And if people want to, is there a website that they can take a look if they want to have more information from you?
Currently, I'm kind of working that out. I don't have one up yet, but it's coming. Just because I feel like a lot of people ask these questions and don't really have a good resource of getting that information. So I'm in the process of putting all of this together and providing a research and a location for people to go for that information. So it'll be to be announced. To
be announced. And so you can watch out for Dr. Michelle Jeffries. Yes, we were very lucky today. I hope those tips and tricks and advice and information help you, and it's going to help you when you decide to go buy new products at the pharmacy or at the grocery store. So thank you very much for listening. Hope that helped. Have a great day.